This is part 3, the third and last 10-minute deep dive on this infographic, the banking model of classroom learning. And if you missed part 2, I explained how trust is the crucial classroom currency, more so than recognition, like praise, achievement marks, and awards, because we need to prevent shadow banking. Trust is a highly valuable good of classroom teaching and learning because trust underwrites all other virtues of character built up by relational capital, and it's not spent down. Like the Canadian economist Mark Carney says in his book Values, altruism, generosity, solidarity, and civic spirit are not like commodities with fixed supplies that are depleted with use. In contrast, they grow stronger with exercise. And also, Paul Krugman, an American economist, agrees that integrity is priceless to avoid short chain relationships where one partner or investor takes advantage of the other. Krugman talks about crimeless victims who bank on trust but discover the relationships to be untrustworthy. Exactly like emotional development, economics is a future-oriented approach, which is eternally hopeful of incremental progress and doesn't rely on windfalls. Piggy bank methods are short-sighted and can trap classrooms in cycles of shadow banking. Good classrooms are led by good bankers, looking to the future and protecting the wealth assets of students and teachers and school administrators, and in fact, the whole idea of schools. So let's dive into this. In this banking model, I am comparing schools to mini economies where diversity is a strength. Any social group relies on diversity. So everyone is doing something different and contributing in ways that the guy next door can't. In fact, diversity in a community is highlighted by the many relationships that this child or teen must navigate over their years in school. Individuality emerges inside relationships, right? So in contrast to others, we begin to see our strengths and strong interests. We decide who we want to be and how we want to be by looking to others that we want to be like or others we do not want to be like. Plus, in long chain relationships with caring adults, kids will craft their integrity, patience, and compassion. So it's an important challenge for each student to recognize the resources everyone else brings. Basically, everyone has something to teach us. When we are too much the same, there's nothing new to learn, right? Learning and development relies on what am I learning from her or him or them? What more can I learn? What am I learning about myself or about other people? At the most basic level, one-to-one level in classrooms, the classroom highlights how the neediest child in the mix teaches others how to be a caregiver. You see, to become more emotionally mature, every child or teen needs to feel their own value in caregiving because, as Tracy Benson says in her book, Unconscious Bias in Schools, she says, in countless decisions throughout the day, we teachers, and I also want to add students, we teachers and students are in positions to erode a student's self-image, dampen a child's curiosity, burden a student with low expectations, and cause a child to feel inferior, inadequate, or otherwise lacking. So I feel the urgency to ensure the next generation of teachers will be investment bankers. Trustworthy relationships must be the classroom currency. Trust grows from witnessing people's actions, not hearing their good intentions. So investment bankers will see it this way. Sustainable investment requires a climate of trust. Resilient stocks require relational practices. And there is diminishing marginal utility in transactional practices. Investment bankers don't collect deposits. Instead, they bank on the future by recognizing who are the stakeholders, who are the stockholders, and what's the value of that stock, who are the shareholders and partners. Families are the stakeholders. Teachers are the stockholders. And I say school administrators are the shareholders because they allocate time and money to teacher collaboration and professional learning, to update school cultures to meet the changing expectations of society. Teacher expertise and school culture are priceless assets in any community. So this is how school administrators increase the valuation of school shares. Furthermore, professional capital bends future wealth assets toward humanized and flexible learning environments. And finally, students are the business partners, finding innovative ways to work together and advance common goals in learning and achievement. Partners know the value of leaning on strengths and compensating for weaknesses. Partners advance trust in diverse learning resources, teaching each other and learning from each other. By noticing the spectrum of virtues of character among their classmates and teachers, kids will always critique which classmate or teacher to model themselves after and which character traits to reject and avoid. So, for example, kids who take the easy way out can become adults taking the easy way out. In fact, Mark Carney reports a comprehensive review of financial misconduct by the Fixed Income Currencies and Commodities Market Standards Board, found consistent fraudulent behavior over the past 200 years. Financial misconduct is the shadow banking I described in the part 2 video. It's true. Creating wealth is about leveraging assets. Well, school assets are always people with 4 kinds of capital: learning capital, relational capital, professional capital, and virtues capital. But if you feel your classroom is stuck in shadow banking and you don't know how to break that cycle, start with process. Mark Carney reminds us that trust is founded on process. So everyone is more likely to trust decisions arrived at fairly. Even young kids trust in adults who lead consensus building and tend to not trust adults too eager to be police, judge, and jury to settle conflicts. Also, know that relational practices and transactional methods exist in direct conflict. Those adults who are not accumulating relational capital have probably fallen back on piggy bank thinking. In finance and in life, trust arrives on foot and leaves in a Ferrari, meaning that trust can take ages to build, moments to break, and forever to repair. You see, trustworthiness doesn't just happen. Classroom trust depends on the quality of relationships, sustained with fairness and maintained by responsible adults. So if you're exhausted by misbehavior in your classroom and asking yourself, why is bullying such a problem in this school? Or how can I get kids working together better in my classroom? Then stop and take a breath and follow the money of this banking model. Since piggy bank thinking begins the moment an adult loses confidence in their own influence. When we think that stickers and stars or rewards and consequences will change kids, we've lost our confidence in being the irreplaceable influence we actually are. When we barter for good behavior, we diminish the authentic relationship we need with every child or teen to energize their integrity. In an expanded banking metaphor, families are the stakeholders since their kids' their child's many years of potential growth are at stake. Teachers are the stockholders, since their stock and trade will increase in value every year if they are developing a relational practice. School and system administrators are the shareholders of inspiring workplaces and safe learning spaces. Again, if administrators are encouraging an emotion-focused approach. It's so true that teacher wellness is a natural outcome of student wellness. Yes, emotional wellness and emotional development truly, they both go full circle in a school system. When students are partners in their own learning and they partner with the full diversity of peers found in their school community. Students accrue trust in themselves as they witness their own capacities expanding. Now, I'm not describing a utopia where all kids and teachers are happy all the time. But classrooms are amazing spaces when they function well. And education is only a partial activity unless teaching comes alive in learning. And this is why it's important to ask, what is wrong with the behavior model that convinces us that children and teens need to be motivated to take part in their own learning? Emotional development is the key. And this is why emotional development is my favorite topic.